Scrappy friends, it's Melinda here again and welcome to my channel. Today I am working with the mood board, not the sketch, from ScrappingClearly for May 2017. It had me stumped for a little while, mostly because of the big fish in the top left hand corner. Now the fish got me thinking about how can I incorporate a fish into my page, which got me to thinking about my honeymoon. We went to beautiful Langkawi and had a trip out to one of the local seafood joints. And my husband does not normally eat prawns. He's not a prawn eater, doesn't like them. But at this restaurant, I think we ended up with 2 or 3 of these giant king prawns, and he helped me devour them. So that's kind of how I came to the page that I'm going to do. The colours I thought matched really well with the colours in the mood board. And then I've got these Dina Scribble sticks, which I'm really excited to use. I've had a little tiny bit of a play with them, but I'm really excited to see how they work. I'm going to put some gesso on my background and pop you on fast forward and have a play. Hopefully this page turns out. If not, I've got plenty of other white cardstock. So I will see you in a minute. I'm back, my scrappy friends. First up, I am going to apologise if I sound terrible and I yawn continuously. I'm not sure, well, I am sure I've had a couple of not fantastic nights of sleep and it's catching up. So I have already gessoed this white cardstock and trimmed off 1/4 inch off all 4 sides, and I'm pulling out the colours to go with the mood board. I've got lemon, night, tangerine and ruby, and I'm starting with the night. And I just scribbled a little bit straight onto the background, adding some water with a brush and just mushing the colour around. This is the first time that I've played with these, but they're a heap of fun and I love how they came out. Now I discovered in my process, and after watching another process video, that putting the scribble stick into some water was the way to get a more vibrant pigmented colour. So you can see that's what I've ended up doing, just dipping the scribble stick into the water and then grabbing a paintbrush to get some flicks. And oh my goodness, this product is so fun to work with. I love it. So because I'm using the blue, the orange, the red and the yellow, I do dry off between colours, but I have taken most of that out. So you can see there I've added the tangerine, which is the orange, and took me a little while to work it out, but because there was so much blue pigment in the water, it was going a lovely shade of brown. So I disappear and I grab another little pot of clean water that I'm going to use for my red, my orange, and then I get another pot of clean water for my yellow. So I'm doing exactly the same thing here with the tangerine, just letting the colour move around the page a little bit and soaking up some of the water, drying it off with a heat tool, using a paintbrush to move it a bit, and then getting the wet paintbrush and flicking it from the end of the scribble stick. Honestly, these products are so fun to work with. Kylie sent them to me in one of my DT packs and I just love them. This is the ruby colour, so the red, and I have pulled the colours straight from the mood board. Again, I knew, so with the orange I was really careful to make sure I didn't mix it in with the blue because I would get mud. The red and the orange can mix a little bit together because they're in the same colour family, but I didn't want the red and the blue to mix because I didn't want purple. So again, just drying that off, adding some more flicks. This is the ruby colour, and I was a little bit like, oh, is it starting to look like blood splatters? But no, I don't think it is, and so I'm good with that. So I've already explained that there's 2 photos from my honeymoon of my husband eating prawns. I've decided here that I want a few more blue splatters, and I was just making sure before that the photos fit where I want them to be. I have cut down, I've gutted that piece of paper in the background because I decided I wanted to bring the orange to around the border, and I've just glued my 2 photos together. So I was going to use the white and then the orange to mount my photos, but decided I wanted to bring in this yellow. So I've cut apart that sorry, that cut apart sheet I think is the perfect one, and that's the cut apart side, and the other one is the spots. But you can see there I'm covering up that middle section of the card, and I'm going to use my ruler to tear all of my papers for this page. So that spot is the back side of that card, and I've just decided to put a couple of pieces of that on either side. And most of the layers here are just scraps. So here I decided that I wanted to use that black and white pattern, but I didn't quite have enough of it to have it layered like the way that the paper goes. So I've just torn it in half and then put it upside down so that the branding strip is in the middle and you can't even tell. So that's the bulk of the layers that I'm going to put in there. I do put in a couple of, so this orange spot, which is the perfect pattern paper. And then that sunburst, I tear a couple of smaller pieces as well and just layer those behind as well. Just using my ruler there so that all the edges are torn. I'm not sure why that really appealed to me for this layout, but it did, so I went with it. In case you're wondering, I am going to bring more yellow into the page because there is that yellow in the mood board. I just wasn't sure how I was going to do it. So I felt that I needed something else here, and I try out all these different pattern papers and I'm not loving any of them. The contrast isn't quite right. I think I readjust a couple of things here. What am I doing? Oh, so I decided I need a little bit more colour behind all those layers. I wasn't sure how much I was going to layer behind my photo, so I thought I'd start small and then add to it if I needed, which is exactly what I've done. So I'm going to add some more blue on the top right, some more orange on the top left, and then some more red down the bottom. And I love that it's all just peeking out. I do again add more splatters as well, and like I don't know, I really enjoyed making the splatters. They were so fun and easy, and I guess just a different way of doing it. So yeah, the easiest way I found was to dunk that into the water and then use my paintbrush that had a fair amount of water on it and flick it. So if you haven't had a chance to play with these products yet, or if you got them in the recent sale, oh my gosh, get them out and have a play. So I got these Vicky Bruton watercolor stickers in the Mother's Day sale. They were 50% off. How could I resist? And I decided that I would use this piece as my title, but better remember this. I have super split this up because I'm not happy with how it came out. Spoiler alert. I decided to go with the yellow, the orange, and the red to colour it. And to get the colours to mix the way that I wanted, I had to add a lot of water. And adding a lot of water, the paper started to peel, and then the text wasn't as clear. And then I had this brilliant idea to go in with a marker, and I didn't like what it did. So I'm going to find a new title. So this is the laugh word. You can't really see it very well here, but this is where the yellow comes in. I'm just dipping the scribble stick into some water, and I kind of wanted it to be a bit ombre, a bit lighter at the top, a bit darker at the bottom. So I've just used some water on my paintbrush to move the colour up. Decided I wanted it a bit more yellow, so go in with a bit more colour, being really careful not to overdo the water this time. I was a bit paranoid. Drying that off with my heat tool. I really love how this came together in the end. I think this is where I get the blue, yep, and I colour in there's 3 arrows on this particular sheet. So I paint, colour, scribble on these 3 arrows, and I end up using all 3 on the page as well. And then, so here I've added a bit of stitching. You can see I've added some stitching to around the yellow and then around the white as well. It gave just that bit of contrast that I was after. I am going to mount the top part of that cluster on some foam just to give it a little bit of dimension. Because it was all stuck down, I've had to apply more adhesive. Sorry, I'm off camera here, but it's not very interesting anyway. So just adhering that down. I thought that I would stick the arrows on that, but I end up not doing that. Tidying up a little bit. So I have super sped this bit up as well. I don't know why I bother recording this bit ever, because it's always a disaster when I'm trying to record. I'm just mounting that white cardstock onto the frame I've cut. Wasn't straight, wasn't happy, pull it back up, stick it back down, pull it back up, stick it back down. So I have super sped it up so that it's not too painful. And I go away and I stitch. I think I've done 3 messy borders, quite close to the edge. I'm showing you, I've also splattered some gold. Because there's that gold in the background paper, I wanted to bring a little bit of the gold into the layout. So I'm going to start sticking everything down. So starting with my main photo cluster. And bringing in my title, and I fuss around with this as well. I just thought that I wanted it there, and I wasn't happy with the gaps and the way the letters looked. And so then I thought I wanted it tucked under there. And I decided I don't love that either, and you can see it kind of blends into the background here. But I do something to fix that up. I think after the camera's turned off, so you'll see it in the close-ups. So I'm just getting the placement where I want it down there for the laugh. Because there's so much mixed media, I do come in and apply some wet glue so that it stays where I put it. I do end up, after everything's dry, I do end up going back in with just a pen and outlining those letters just so they stand out a bit more. Adding in these arrows. That one on the photo doesn't stay there. I kind of like it, but I'm not really kind of sure. I'm really happy with those pots of blue down the bottom with those 2 arrows. And then I decided I wanted to bring in a bit more yellow and maybe a couple of phrases. So I pull out this page from the watercolor sticker booklet thing. One says just try it or something, and one says eat well and travel often. What I end up, give it a try and eat well, travel often, I think. So I decide to, again with the yellow, just dipping it in, using some water and moving the colour around. I think I do 2 coats. Yep. Drive that off with my heat tool. And then I think it was at this point I decided I wanted a bit more stitching. I think. I finally found some way to use one of these paper clips I've tried on like the last 3 layouts that I've made for Scrapping Clearly. Yay, I got one on the page. They're so cute. I love them. They're little gold camera paper clips. They're so cute. I think this is where I'm looking for some alphas to finish off my title. I'm really sorry. I thought I'd cut this out because it is not very interesting. So I come back in with these tiny black tile stickers. And again, I've sped that up super fast because you don't need to watch that in slow motion. So I have gone away and I've stitched through the arrows, and I stuck those yellow phrase stickers to some paper and ran those through my sewing machine as well with the same blue thread. And I'm just sticking those down. I'm going to come in with my journaling. Oh, I end up finding a place for that blue arrow down the bottom there and come in with my journaling. And I'm just using a food ball pen. I think that's what it's called. Get it down. I think it's called a food ball pen, but it does work mostly well on the mixed media, which is awesome. Here are some close-ups on the video. I'm really, really happy with how this turned out. Love all the colours in it. There are some close-ups of the whole page. Well, there's the whole page and there's some close-ups of all the different parts, and there's the title outlined with some stitching through it, and you can see in this photo the stitching through the arrows and the phrase stickers. So thank you all, as always, for stopping by and watching my video. Please remember to give me a like and subscribe, and I shall see you again very soon. Thanks, bye.